Rolling on.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wholehearted Living with
Valerie
and Benny. And this is the podcast where siblings discuss, just life issues, as well as usually bring up a topic that has something to do with wholehearted living. One of us is surprised by the topic and just sweet dialogue. So,
yes.
Iggy's here to keep us in sound. Hello, Gigs. How are we doing?
Good. Had a very eventful week.
Yeah? Are you going to tell us about your eventful week?
Well, I guess starting last weekend, a couple of us from the team went to a coffee fest in LA.
Nice.
It's basically an expo where there's a bunch of vendors from like coffee roasters, syrup manufacturers, and like all these other things. And we got to try out a bunch of different things. And the work week was also eventful because we had a couple people on vacation, so then we were like supporting different spaces across campus.
Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, Iggy works at SpaceX, and but he works in the food services, specifically with all the coffee people.
And work as a barista.
Yes.
As a barista, yeah.
He makes pretty coffee.
And we had a successful Starship test flight Wednesday. Wednesday?
Yeah.
No,
it was Wednesday.
Doesn't matter.
No,
Yeah,
they first tried it Sunday. That didn't go because of a ground issue. Monday didn't go because of weather, so I think they went Tuesday.
Okay.
And that was pretty fun. That was my first Starship experience.
Because he gets to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got to watch the whole flight. And it was pretty cool because there was that moment of like with everyone celebrating and cheering. Mm-hmm. There was that moment of I've made coffee for people that worked on that.
Right.
So
That's
there's
true.
like the success of that mission, like we're
those people.
Indirectly responsible.
Yes, exactly. You kept them up
cool.
at night.
Right.
He actually gave us a tour, and we got to see it, and then it's a huge campus, and we saw like a speck of it, but it was really interesting how it is done. And I guess I don't know anything about this, arena of life, but what was fascinating about it is how open everything was, meaning it's like they're just working right there on things that are going to be in space soon, or I don't know about soon, but and so it was just bizarre how it's you can't touch anything or anything like that, but it's like it just was so accessible, and then because it's really only for staff and it's not like, well, I don't know if it's a general tour, but there's no guardrails, there's no nothing. It's just you just walk around and see everything, and it was super cool. So,
on your honor that you don't run and jump on something.
Yeah, well, I would assume that would look bad on Iggy. He would no longer be making coffee for people, or at least not allowed to do tours anymore. So.
That is true. If something happens during the tour, I could lose tour privileges.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I refrain from peeing on anything.
I guess you can call it a private tour. Like it's not a tour that is accessible to the public.
Yeah.
Because of security reasons.
Yeah.
Obviously, but
Yeah. It was really, really fun. So yeah.
Cool.
I almost, I wanted to go touch things.
I'm sure
they had like a closed room, one of those like air rooms, where you like, I don't know, where it's just a clean room. Like that was fun. Anyway, you said before we started, because I told you that we should talk about something else, and then you said, I have a story.
Okay, it's not really. I didn't say I have a story.
Yes,
no, I said I was going to talk about.
It's really funny.
No, well, okay,
and then you said, well, probably not.
I'm going to say something. Okay.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I'm going to go back to quite a few episodes ago because I did throw this out there. So I just want to clarify something. Okay. Not clarify, but give the results. Gosh. Give the results, because I think I threw out that I was having breast issues, and that.
Oh yeah, you did.
I was getting tests and what have you. But I just want to throw it out there in case everybody that has listened is like, oh my gosh, I hope Valerie's okay.
No, they're worried about me.
No, but everything's good. There was no issues. So.
Yeah. Good.
All right, moving on. So I'm back to work. But this is what I was going to tell you guys. This is kind of interesting. So
nothing like getting everybody excited about something by saying this is kind of interesting.
Okay, this is just random though. Okay, I went back to work on last Wednesday. Okay. So on Tuesday, Monday, I was supposed to take the grandbabies to the beach, but then I ended up with mom again all day at the urgent care and then ER and stuff. So then I'm like calling Coley, like, we're just going to go Tuesday. Do you have plans on Tuesday? No, everything's great. Let's go on Tuesday. Okay. So we go to Mother's Beach. And if you're not familiar with Mother's Beach, it's a beach in Long Beach that doesn't have waves. So it's kind of like a lake. So it's very cool because then you don't have to worry. You can be right there and let the kids play and you're not worrying about waves crashing on you or like riptides or what have you. So we went there. I met her there because I'm coming from one direction. She's coming from another. So we go to meet there. As I get out of my car to go pay for parking, I see her over there. She's putting like suntan lotion on the girl, not suntan lotion, but sunscreen on the girls and stuff. And she's like, Nana, Mommy wants to know if she has to pay for parking. I go, yeah. She's like, oh my gosh. So I finish paying. I go stand with the girls while she goes to runs to her, get her the number of her car and what have you and pay for parking. We go to the beach for a couple hours. And then she goes, Mom, I'm so glad I saw you doing that because I would have gotten a ticket. I had no idea we had to pay here. So, because it's one of those meters that you have to go walk up to. It's not like in front of your car. You have to go, not a meter. It's like a...
Oh, you mean it's like you got a numbered slot and you have to go to the thingy and tell the thingy about the thingy.
So she didn't know that. So anyway, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you saw that. So now we're there. We play, we go home and she's driving away. I'm helping her get the girls in and all that stuff. I go to get in my car and she's driving away. Bye. And I sit down and I look, I have a parking ticket. And I'm like,
you put the wrong number.
I did.
You're a dork.
I was 96 and I put in 76 or vice versa. I was 76 and I put in 96.
Could you research that and tell us the exact number?
I can. Would you like me to? So whatever it was, I didn't put in the right number. So as soon as I got home, I sent him a copy of my receipt that I did pay for it. I sent him a copy of my bank statement showing the money came out of my bank. And that's, on that day at this time, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if they're going to let me, I don't know if they're going to excuse it or not. I haven't heard. It was $76.
Yeah.
Or 78 because that's a lot.
It's probably same number as whatever the car.
I know, no, but that's why I was like, well, no, it probably wasn't 76 if everything else was in the ending.
So, folks, if it's true, then you want to park at 4.
Yes. Don't park at the number,
and then don't pay for parking because all you're going to get a ticket for $4, and you're golden.
So now, fast forward to Wednesday. It's my first day at work. No students, but we just have meetings and prepping and all that good stuff. So I was there 8 hours ish, and I go to leave, get in my car. I have a parking ticket.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I parked on street sweeping day on the wrong side of the street.
You're a dork.
$52, and so I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I have never gotten a parking ticket in my life."
Are you serious?
And I've gotten 2 in 2 days.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well,
so I fight that one too. I just said, "Oops, my bad. I haven't been at the school since last July." I did. Who knows? They might just go, poor thing.
I'm sure they will.
I just did a whoopsie, and oh my gosh, and the truth is,
you forgot.
I did, but I also. Everybody's like, oh, it doesn't have to be it's not going to be a full day, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I'll just park here.
I didn't, you guys don't have enough parking on campus for your
we have
staff?
Barely. Like, I think there's maybe 20 spots.
So that sucks for all the people that live around there. That means they automatically get a bunch of cars there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, that would suck.
A lot of people park on the streets.
Where
but
else
I prefer to park on the streets in all honesty because
it's easier to leave.
Because it's a U what do you call it? Like a driveway that you would have to go through the U, and that's where all the students are let out.
Right.
So you'd have a lot of trouble trying to inch your way out with students leaving and stuff. So
there was a season when Patty and I were going to the beach and we would go and take a walk, this was before we both had jobs, right after moving here from Ecuador. And then we go to Starbucks and it was like our own little therapy because we called it therapy because we couldn't afford to go to therapy. And so we would just go there and talk for hours. Anyway, we had to learn, and I don't know how many parking tickets we got there because of the street sweeping.
Oh.
So
you got more than one.
Because we would forget. We would totally forget. And then sometimes we remember on one day, and then the very next day we'd park on the opposite side, which is a different day, and do it. Or we would always get there when it was free. That was another thing. It wasn't just street sweeping, but then there was also, and you know what's so funny is no one is parked there, right?
And you still, you're like, look at all the spaces. I'm so lucky.
It's so great. There's no spaces, and it never dawned on us that there's a reason that no one is parked there.
Yeah.
And then there's other times that it doesn't click in until 10 o'clock, I think, or something like that. And we were always gone before 10, but then there were a few times that we would stay longer. And we would forget that it ends at 10. How much was
parking there?
I don't know. I honestly don't remember. It was, Patty, was it like $60 or something like that for a ticket? Something like that.
So, it's just so interesting with parking tickets because Kylie got a ticket maybe 2 months ago, parking on the street. And she specifically parked there. Like it's for her job. Like she knows that street. But she doesn't park there anymore because this is what happened. She parked there and there was all parking. Like there wasn't, how am I trying to say this?
I don't know.
Tons of people were parked there. It wasn't like she pulled up and goes, oh my gosh, look at all this parking on the street. There was tons of people parked there. And so she got the ticket and she's like, why do I have a ticket? And it's no parking from this time to this time. And she was like, what? She looks up, there's this huge tree and then she could vaguely see a little sign behind it. So she goes walking close to it, has to walk around the tree. And then it says no parking from this time to this time. So she took a picture of the tree. She took a picture of where her car was to see, I can't see that sign. So you can't hold me to this thing. So she fought it. And then she got something in the mail like 2 weeks ago saying, I'm sorry, you have to pay. You're responsible for this ticket. You're not allowed to park there from this time to this time. And it just basically was like,
I think their philosophy, although I agree with you that it shouldn't be, the thing is that it was gone. Like somebody vandalized it and it was gone. Then she could probably get away with it. But the fact that it was there, it's your responsibility, I think, to go look and make sure.
But when you don't see a sign at all, you're just going to randomly start looking. Like that would never occur to me. Like I would pull up. Oh, I don't see a sign. Okay. Because she sent me a picture of it. You cannot see it.
I totally get what you're saying, but I'm going to tell you in LA, I look, I walk around because I hate it. And then, but it's funny because then you do certain things out of routine and you don't think about it, like street sweeping or like it's after 10 and you forget that it's after 10. But no, I'm really like in LA, anywhere in LA. As a matter of fact, if there's no sign, I'm freaked out because we actually just went to Carlsbad. And we parked, and there was no sign. And I said, "Are you sure there's no sign?"
Right.
And we literally went walking up and down the block because it's like, how can it be? There's no, because it was right in the middle of a bunch of stuff, and sure enough, there was literally no sign. We could park there for free, and it was like, it was so bizarre because one block over, there were.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that because we went to a football game in Pasadena, and same thing. We saw a sign, no parking from this time to this time. And we were like, oh, okay. But people were still parked there. But Peter's like, I'm not taking a chance. So we drove down about 5 or 6 more cars, maybe 8 to 10 cars. I don't know. And then all in front of us, there's no sign. I mean, and like you just said, like you would even look down the street, look across the street, looking, are there signs? No, there's no sign. Okay, we can park here. But you're like, well, what was that sign?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be responsible for the whole block and then crossing that?
And that's another issue that I don't understand.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm not saying that I don't understand why Kylie didn't look. I'm saying just for me in LA, anywhere in where we live, if it's not in a really quaint little neighborhood, I don't.
Yeah.
I walk because it's like, especially
well, she even said
Pasadena and whoever. Yeah.
Well, she even said when she got the ticket, she's like, are you kidding? And she looked around and all the cars had a ticket on it. They all didn't see the sign. So.
Or they didn't care and they were hoping they were going to skate it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that work, face it, Iggy did this and we've, for years we parked in that bank, Well,
yeah, but if I got a ticket, I would understand why. Because I knew that you weren't supposed to park there unless you went to the bank.
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say though is that they don't always monitor it. And so it could be that they weren't monitoring that for a long time and all those people knew that. So they're like, oh, I don't care. And then all of a sudden they decided we're going to monitor it.
That's true.
And so it could be that too. Or it could just be, raining and, nobody likes to walk in the rain. It could have been the sun being really, really hot. And then that makes the windshield really hot. And then nobody wants to put a parking thing there. Could be that the parking person, am I just...
What's happening?
I don't know. Patty just told me to be quiet.
What's he doing?
I was just making something up. I had nothing to do with anything.
I don't think it's
funny. Okay. Are you ever going to do your topic or should we just quit?
I actually did notes. Remember last time I did this? I didn't have anything.
No.
I didn't have any notes. So you want to talk about...
No.
You know what? We might have kind of talked about this before, but...
We've done 7,647 episodes. We've talked about everything.
I know.
So a little bit.
We should just start all over. Let's go back to episode 1 and re-talk about it.
We can. You have to say it out loud.
You should
I know. I was trying to think of a
revisit
question.
an old episode and then see if you still feel the same way about what you talked about.
I like that, Iggy. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
That's a really good idea.
That is a good idea.
Okay, we'll look into that one.
We'll look into Valerie's because we'll really disagree with most of those.
I'm trying to think of a way to ask a question because you always ask me a question. So I want to ask you a question. Okay, I guess let me see this. Why don't I ask you this?
Okay.
Living wholeheartedly. Our podcast is obviously wholehearted living. So living wholeheartedly, would you say that you would live happy or you would how am I phrasing this?
Iggy, why don't we just talk
joy,
and she'll get this together.
Joy.
Okay.
Happiness. If you're living wholeheartedly, are you living joyfully or with happiness? I know this is kind of a trick question because it could apply to both, but in actual wholehearted living, what would you say?
Well, I don't know if I'm not sure I like the premise of the question. I would say I prefer joy.
Okay.
So that's what I would say. I prefer joy.
Okay. And the reason I'm saying, because if there's circumstances that make you happy, right?
Right.
Right. So the reason is I'm saying this is because if you're living wholeheartedly, you're living with authenticity.
Hopefully.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you're allowing yourself to be fully present. You are choosing to engage and choosing to live intentionally. And then when you're saying something like, I am happy, you can just be happy that you got off work early.
Right.
But is that necessarily joyful living?
I think happy, yeah. So happiness to me, and the reason why I said what I said is because happiness is dependent on the circumstance. I'm really, really happy when the Chiefs win. By the way, the Chiefs are going to be starting the season.
Anyway, move on.
Next Friday. So we're really excited about that. So by the time this episode
so anyway,
airs,
I'm going to cut you
either
off.
going to be really happy or I'm not. So go ahead.
You're going to be living joyfully or you're going to be
hopefully we'll still be joyful, but I might not be happy.
Okay, so anyway, as you were saying, happiness depends on circumstances. So, and then joy is more of a deeper rooted feeling.
I don't even know if I'd call it a feeling. Joy is something that would, because joy can manifest itself in different ways, but joyfulness is a contentment in life that makes it so that I can appreciate everything.
Yeah, you're grateful.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, gratitude would be one of those things for sure. Yeah.
Right, for sure. So...
Does that make sense? That I see it like because happiness to me is, like you said, a feeling, like anger. Anger is a feeling. Sadness is a feeling. Those things are feelings. But I think you can have a joyful mindset, joyful heart, you could be a joyful person and still be sad at times. I mean, meaning the feeling that's there because you just talked about a funeral that you went to that's sad. But it doesn't mean that you're a sad person. You could still be in a mindset of joy. Right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking out loud. So.
Oh my gosh, side note. Can you believe there was 1,300 people at this funeral?
I can't. I think there might be 13 people at mine.
I know. That's what I said. I need to start making more friends. That's insane.
I'm going to go back on Facebook.
1,300. They rented out the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center.
Who's they? He was dead.
Well, this family.
Oh.
And then, okay, this is another side note. When you responded to, if you were going to the funeral, you RSVP'd for how many people, and then it said, please leave a note for how you know Fred. And then the person that was doing the service said there was not one person that was just an acquaintance. Like he goes, I read through all of them. He touched everyone's lives personally. It wasn't just like, oh, I knew him from, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just crazy. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So anyway, I wrote a couple like, okay, so happiness. It is getting a promotion at work, and it's amazing because of the achievement you made. Joy is feeling grateful and content even if you don't get the promotion, because you know your self-worth isn't tied to the outcome.
Yeah. That's good.
Happiness is getting an ice cream on a hot day. Delicious, but
joyful too.
Joy is getting the ice cream with someone that you love, maybe my grandbabies or Peter, whatever, you guys, and being joyful about the moment that we're in. And that will last forever, that memory, but the ice cream happiness will go away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I just wrote one more thing, like, happiness, because this happens to me a lot at work. I mean, on the way to work, I drive to work either in silence or I put the radio really loud and I sing. You know what I mean? It's like either I need that silent time or I sing. And so that makes me very, very happy when I do that. But the joy is...
Wait, what do you sing?
Whatever's on the radio, because that's all I listen to. I don't have like
you listen
Spotify
to the radio?
Yeah. So it's usually Coast.
I forgot the radio still exists.
It is.
Coast 103.5, right?
Yeah.
Love songs.
Is
that the love songs
on
the coast?
Love songs on the coast.
Oh my gosh. Do you listen to Lionel Richie?
If he's on that show. I mean, if he's on that station.
He's on that show.
Whatever pops up.
Because the thing that I always think of when I think of 103.5 is, hello?
Is it me you're looking for?
I can see it in your... Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, and then the joy is having peace in your heart, even during a hard drive to work, is what I'm saying. Like, even if it's a bad morning, or like that you're walking into a situation at work that is going to affect you for the moment, whatever it might be, but you still have joy in your heart because you are just, you're feeling grateful that you even have a job. You're feeling, you're able to walk in with joy still. I think about all the stuff that happened with mom and dad, and like, it's crazy because mom's still going through a bunch of stuff, still, having tests, still not 100%.
If we could just quickly update our little listeners, because a while ago we told you guys that we ended up in the hospital for various reasons. And the very long story short is my dad's doing fine. I mean, he's clearly showing his age in the sense that his knee, just these little things. But in terms of his overall health, he's not in danger. But my mom's concussion is still an issue.
Yeah.
And causing her problems, and the doctors are concerned about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like she's just feeling odd and we're worried about her.
I think the last time we talked about it, we were very excited that she didn't have anything showing in her CAT scan.
Yeah, meaning she's not bleeding anymore, but she does have blood.
No,
there
I think
still.
our initial, if I'm not mistaken, our initial podcast, there wasn't, was there?
There was no bleeding. Like, there's no bleeding, but
no, stop. Just listen to my full sentence.
Oh, go.
Because the initial one showed nothing. It didn't even show that there was blood. And then 2 weeks later, she had a follow-up one. And then it showed there was a blood spot.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if that first podcast talked about the blood spot, or we just were excited that nothing was shown on the CAT scan.
Okay.
Yeah, right? And so the second CAT scan showed the blood spot, and then the third one showed the same blood spot not getting better.
Yeah.
So all that said, it's basically a contusion, but it's putting pressure on the brain. So it's still making her feel nauseous. It's still a concussion. That's why she's still kind of dizzy when she lays down, all that good stuff. If it doesn't go away on its own, they're going to probably have to do surgery.
Some kind of surgery. Well, and so the thing is that it's really bizarre. I mean, for those of you that have aging parents, it's really bizarre because it was not 6 months ago that we were on this podcast talking about how our parents are so active and moving and just so quote unquote, normal health. Mm-hmm. and how quickly it moves from that to they're incredibly fragile right now. Really, really fragile. And
but the reason I'm bringing them up in this, and we can talk about that more later if you want, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because even though mom will say to me, you know, oh, Mija, I'm still just not feeling good. You know, I'll get a random text from her and just said, you know, praise the Lord because blah, 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 whatever positive thing happened that day or that moment or whatever, or, you know, whatever it is, like, and then she'll say, oh, Mija, I'm having a better day. My stomach feels great, you know, or whatever. And so I feel like mom, even though she has those bad moments where she's not feeling great and sad that she's not herself, I feel like she's still a joyful person.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like the difference in, you know, and I always feel like we throw dad under the bus, but I feel like dad's happiness is very circumstantial. You know, I feel like he's, you know, if mom gets a good report, then he's very happy. He's very happy. But he doesn't live in the fact that if it's like not a great report, that he's still joyful in the moment that mom is still there, you know, trying to tackle it. It's more like you know, I don't know how to explain it.
I think for dad, his other issues with dad prevent any sense of joy, like because when he's in that anxious moment, that's all he can see. So I don't know if it has to do with joy or happiness or what have you, but it does have to do with anxiety. Like he gets anxious. Mom, on the other end, is just she doesn't have any problem saying she's sad or frustrated or whatever. She will talk about what's really going on, but then she's still willing to be like. You don't get a sense. You know,
she's very grateful about things. Like she'll say, you know, I think about it like, yeah, I have a concussion, but I didn't break my hip.
Yes,
exactly. I did this, but I don't have that.
Yeah.
Yes, you know what I mean? So she's very grateful about things where I feel like that's why she really does exude joyfulness to.
Well, and it's been her whole life. I've always, you know, I'm going to talk about something that mom would never want to talk about, but mom has occasionally been buzzed. You buzzing, you know, with wine or whatever.
She doesn't need much.
And but she's a really fun drunk.
Yeah.
She's super fun. And I just have this totally unscientific thing. I might have said it on the podcast. I don't know, which is it's fascinating to me because when you have a fun drunk, you can kind of tell this is who they are. And when they're drunk, it just comes out that this is who they are. And what's really interesting is you'll have happy people that when they get drunk, they get really mad, really angry,
really down, really sad.
down or whatever it is. And they start, you know, whatever and this and that and the other. And that's revealing what's going on inside. That's really what's going on inside of them. And now they don't have the ability to put on the other face, the appropriate face. I'm not saying that that's not real for them. It's just that they have to continually like really work toward that. They're still, it's not just genuinely who they are.
Yeah.
And so it's, I don't know if I like genuinely who they are, but I just mean they're still really having to work through that. And the idea of totally getting rid of all that stuff, the resentment, the anger, the fear, all of a sudden that brings out, that can produce a significant amount of joy. I see this in clients all the time. You totally can see it because they'll talk to me like everything's happy and everything's good. And then you start getting into things and all of a sudden you recognize that what they're doing out here is very practiced. They're an adult. They understand what's appropriate in certain situations. A lot of them do. Some of them don't. That's another story. But that's like, to me, the difference because they will likewise say, oh my God, it was so great because X, Y, and Z happened. And in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, you're totally focused on just that event, but I don't get a sense that.
Well, and joyfulness doesn't mean perfection. Like you still have the bad day or you have you still have the sad moment or whatever. And I always feel, I don't know, I feel so privileged when you ask somebody, how are you doing? And they go, not good. You know, whatever, for whatever reason, you know, it's like, wow, that's, you know, there's no reason to go, oh, fine. You know, in the meantime, you know, your sister just passed away, but you have to put on the brave face or whatever.
Well, it was really interesting. A friend of mine called me just the last week, I think it was. And And he called it doesn't matter. We were talking, and then he asked me about what's going on with me. And I just said, well, and then I told him about all the stuff that's going on with my folks and our folks. And then I talked about, I can't remember what else I said, but, and then he actually said this to me, which I took it as both a compliment and like, oh crap. But he goes, it's really good for me to hear this from you. And I was like, oh, well, I'm glad. And he goes, I'm glad that it encourages you.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, my misery encourages you. But then he did quickly finish it by saying, because I often see you and think your life is perfect. And I thought two things is the thing I'm grateful for is that means the thing I'm grateful for is that what I'm exuding to people is I'm excited about life and I'm excited about the future.
Right.
If they really had any idea, well, and he knows about my history. He knows about all the things that happen.
Right.
He knows that I'm still, I'm in the middle of getting a new career and stuff like that. And yet he still thinks that I don't, quote unquote, have problems. And so there's a part of me that thinks that's really cool. Part of me thinks, okay, apparently I'm not being authentic enough, but at times, or maybe I'm not sharing enough with anyway, but the point is
and it also depends on the friend, like, and not to cut you off, but I'm like thinking, how often do you talk to somebody and then you're like, well, I haven't talked to this guy in 8 months. I'm just not going to, let's catch up. I don't need to necessarily,
exactly. Yeah. No, I totally agree. But, well, do you want to give us some final thoughts, words?
Sure. Let me just look through what I wrote here.
Okay. All of a sudden, she got a blood nose.
Okay. So to cultivate joy instead of just like it's circumstantial and just being happy when things go right in your life. Like we already talked about this, and I know we've talked about this like many, many times, but having gratitude and making sure that you specifically state every day what you're grateful for. Because again, we've said this, and I think that you do it too, but every morning I wake up and say 3 things that I'm grateful for, and they don't have to be elaborate things.
No.
But it automatically sets the tone for the day of like, I woke up and I'm really happy I'm here, and these are the things I'm happy about. It could be as much as, the dog didn't jump on me to take her outside in the morning.
Right.
Like I got sleep. Making sure you're with people who lift you. Now, that doesn't mean not to hang around people that need your support, but it means like, if you want to live a joyful life, a wholehearted life, like try to make sure the connections that you have are not always bringing you down.
Yeah.
You should always feel like, oh, that was great.
You can't give away what you don't have.
Right.
So if you don't have people that are feeding into you, then you're going to be empty.
Exactly. And then other things that we've always talked about, movement, and just like overall health, just making sure you're taking care of yourself and making sure that you're fueling your body properly. It's not to say that you can't have cake or ice cream or whatever, but feed it all the good stuff so that can outweigh whenever you want to have those indulgences. And so you're always kind of feeling good. Movement, I can't stress enough how much movement can change a mood. If I come home from a long day and I'm too tired to walk the dog, I make myself just go walk the dog. I'm not kidding you. 5-10 minutes out in the fresh air and walking, I just feel so much better already.
Yesterday,
so much better.
It was just yesterday, right, that I returned those shoes. And it was just funny because I told Patty, I go, I just need to go return these because I had a bunch of clients on top of each other and a bunch of things. It doesn't matter. And I said, I just need to get out of the house. I need to go. And I just walked to the UPS store, which is, I don't know how far it is. And then walked back. And funny, I ran into Mom and Dad.
Oh.
They were driving around.
Oh, how funny.
And I said, why are you driving over here? And they go, and Dad goes, I just like to go through Gardena every once in a while. And I go, Dad, that's so funny. I go, every single time someone visits us, I always go, well, don't forget the Gardena tour. and he said that he just likes to drive through here. And I said, well, where are you guys going? He goes, well, we're going to eat. And I go, well, where? And he goes, well, we haven't decided. We were
just driving around. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And then he goes, well, do you want to ride home? And I go, no. I said, Dad, I could have driven here. Yeah. I want to walk.
Right.
I'm trying to
And then
walk.
did that help you? Did you feel better after?
Oh, yeah, totally.
There's something about fresh air. And if the sun is out, I know sometimes it can be way too hot, but even just the vitamin D, it was hot, but
helps. I was like, I don't care. It was great to be outside.
The other thing for, two more things I'm going to say. The other thing is, we've talked about this many times. This seems like it sums up a lot of stuff that we always talk about, but not having distractions. So putting the phone down, just getting out of, living in somebody else's life, like actually being present in the life that you're in. And then, for most people, maybe not everybody has a certain faith, but, to be able to have something to go to bigger than a situation you're in, like, just having hope.
You need some kind of hope, higher power, something. And, a lot of our listeners are probably Christian background in some way, shape or form, but practicing it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, and I feel like if you keep a lot of those things in your back pocket, you can live a joyful, wholehearted life. Yeah,
I agree. I like it. I like the fact that, I love the idea of talking about joy versus happiness because so many people are eager. Patty and I are eager to find happiness because we only do the Powerball when it's near $1 billion.
I know, right?
For some reason, 500 million isn't enough.
Right. No.
But when it gets to 750, it's like, well, now it's worth the $2.
Play. Yeah.
And so, and then it's always funny because I always give them $2 and you just want one ticket. I'm thinking,
I know.
One ticket is all I need.
It's so funny because we did a thing at work for it too. And I think Peter might've bought a ticket too. And same, we just buy like a ticket. And, but somebody goes, I bought like 100 tickets the other day. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, because I have the same amount of odds of winning as you.
Exactly.
It's like it doesn't change. You have to buy about 1 billion tickets for you to get a better odds. But what's really funny is the first time because we played twice, and I'll tell you why. So we played the first time whenever it was, and we won $9.
Ooh.
So I went back, and I got one more ticket, and I kept 7. So,
well, your chances of winning the big one are off now because you already won something.
I know. So we got so the second ticket didn't work at all. We didn't even get a single number. But anyway. All right.
Well, there you go, guys. So live joyfully.
Live joyfully rather than just happily. Anyway, we are at wholehearted_living_podcast on Instagram, and you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. And we are very grateful that you listen to us.
Yes.
Iggsters, thank you for keeping us in sound.
I was going to say I'll be here next week.
Okay.
I guess I'll be here in a few minutes to record.
Don't let them see behind the curtain, Iggy. Even though we wear the exact same clothes.
I know. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. We'll chat later. Bye.
Ciao.